Pound for Pound Boxing Show in association with Dirty South and IQ Boxing. Obviously, I'm here with you, Jordan Reynolds, ahead of your massive fight coming up, your debut,
Yep.
your pro debut. I want to ask you, Jordan, obviously you had a fantastic amateur career. I want to ask you what first got you into boxing.
Mate, it's just the usual stuff, mate. You know, Council State kid getting into a lot of trouble. I found boxing through school, believe it or not. They were doing boxing. They were doing boxing Mondays and Fridays for the angry kids. It was labels. You know what I mean? The aggression. So I was only going to school Monday and Friday just to do the boxing. But it was at that time there when I was hitting the pads and whatnot. It was the only time I felt like a bit of love, like I belong somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And when he was like complimenting me and telling me, I was like, man, this is weird. Like, I mean, he's telling me, oh, you look good, man, be lovely, lovely. And I just thought, I wasn't used to that, but I felt good. Like, I was showing a bit of love, and I never had that growing up. And then, yeah, it went from there, really. Like, I asked for a job because I was struggling for money and, like, the home situations. And, yeah, I got a job there. And that was the first, choice I made. Instead of going down the hill into town where all the lads would go, where we were doing some naughty stuff, we stopped all that. We started running up the hill to my house to get changed and started going to the gym to work. And then from there I just progressed on, mate. Went from Stevenage to West Ham, to Hoddesdon, to England, and to Team GB. And now we're here for the pros.
Yeah, I mean, now we're here. I mean, obviously, let's talk a little bit about your amateur career. You had 102 fights, 90 wins. You won the national title and 7 London Crowns, and you also was on the Team GB squad as well. Let's talk a bit about your amateur career. Fantastic career. What's the moment that made you most proud?
Do you know what? It was probably getting onto the Olympic team, all right? Because like I started boxing. People say it's late. I started boxing at 16, 17. Had my first fight about 17. And I was always told I'd never get onto the Olympic team or the England squad because I was always suited to the pros. I started at a pro gym. So that was just a big relief. I thought to myself, do you know what? And then going on, winning a senior ABA title, which is traditional. Do you know what I mean? Back in the day, you would win a senior ABA title, then you turn pro. But it's a bit changed now. It's more like a lot of people aim to go Team GB, then they turn pro. So it was probably getting to the Olympic team and little things like as you go up, when you box for England, you get announced that you're England captain for some tournaments and whatnot. So it's all good proud moments, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's definitely getting to the Olympic team and traveling the world and seeing different cultures and things like that, really.
Yeah, I mean, that must have been some moment, obviously, getting called up, getting selected. And also, and also obviously going to fight in different countries, traveling all over the world and fighting the best amateurs across the world.
Yeah, mate, like it's a real eye-opener, do you know what I mean? Like, because sometimes if you're like in your own country and you become a big fish in a small pond, especially if you're clearing up, where when you're going around these European countries or whatnot, it keeps you humble, it keeps you grounded because you know, like, there's some savages out there. Do you know what I mean? There's some real savages, and it's a different mindset, different work ethic. Do you know what I mean? They're grinding their boxing to eat for the day. Do you know what I mean? They need to win. Do you know what I mean? So it's a different. It's different. It's just, mate, it's just great experience. Do you know what I mean? And to take things from them different types, from the technical side to just little things. You know what I mean? It goes a long way. It adds to them little 1%. So yeah, mate, class experience.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, obviously, my colleague Nando interviewed Solomon Daiquiris yesterday, and obviously he talked about amateur boxing as well. Obviously, representing GB as well, and fighting all over the world, fighting the best amateur boxers as well. And he said that's going to put him in good stead going forward, turning pro.
Massively, and like do you know what as well, right? Like before, people say, you can be a great amateur and not a good pro, which I get, but now the last 4 or 5 years, the amateur games like the pros now, because especially you've got the World Series boxing as well. It's 5 rounds, it's small gloves. You know what I mean? There's no head guards anymore, so it definitely gives that little bit of a head start, and it's just your little bit of apprentice. You know what I mean, it's your apprentice really, and when you feel ready, then you turn pro, and that's when the next chapter begins. That's when you start getting some dough in the bank, mate.
Yeah, obviously you mentioned turning pro. Let's talk a bit about your promoters. So obviously you signed for MTK Global last year.
Yeah.
How did that feel, signing for such a big, massive boxing promotion?
Yeah, great. I went around first. MTK was always my first choice. MTK, I've always advised and had good friends always said that they're great people. They're doing wonders for the sport. I was like, yeah, like the people who tell me this is like some are close, and some of my best mates. And I thought, what I'd do first is just go around and just sit down with a few people, so I never second thinking, what if? And I went around a few managers and whatnot, and I thought, you know what? MTK is just different level. They're changing up the game. They're not just advising me in boxing. That it's life as well, because life after boxing and what you're doing with your money or whatnot outside of boxing. So yeah, great mate, and like that they're busy. They've got key stall promoters like from Warren to Eddie Hearn to everyone. So I thought to myself, mate, if I'm with them, I'm getting the best of both worlds, because you can be seen on the ESPN, you can be seen on the BT Sports, the Sky Sports. Go to America. You know what I mean? It's the world's my oyster with them. Really, I just got to keep my head down and stay disciplined and keep performing for them, and they'll look after me.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you mentioned obviously they work with so many different other broadcasters, and a lot of fighters who signed for MTK Global fought the other day on Frank Warren's BT Sports show not too long ago.
Yeah.
Also, you've got some people fighting now on Top Rank, ESPN. So, I mean, it opens up so many doors for you when you sign for MTK Global that you're going to be fighting on other platforms too.
Exactly. You want to be. It's not like it just opens the whole world up for you. Do you know what I mean? Like it's worldwide. You're not just stuck to one little thing, like one little area. You're literally worldwide, and they kind of give you that opportunity. They're just giving opportunity to us fighters. Do you know what I mean? Like 9 times out of 10, it's working class kids in the sport. So it's like they give us the opportunity to go, right. We're grinding out. We're working. We're winning fights. They're putting the opportunity there for us to push on forward.
Yeah. Another thing I'd like to touch up on at MTK Global is that they actually give young kids the opportunity to become coaches, actually sort of schooling, give them tutoring for schooling as well.
Yeah.
They do so much, and I don't think they get as much credit as they should.
No, they don't, mate. Listen, and that's the first. Listen, you know what people are like these days, anyway. The first thing they look at something, they look at the negatives instead of the positives. And like, especially now, like they were still running a few academies now during these times. And at the end of the day, boxing saves lives, man. Like there can be kids out there on the street doing whatnot. Do you know what I mean? They could be in all sorts of trouble. So for them, they're worldwide. They've got academies everywhere, all across different countries. You know what I mean? So they're changing up the game, mate. 100%.
100%. Let's talk about your pro debut. Obviously, you're going to be fighting Robbie Champman, middleweight
Yep.
fighter, 12th of March this week live on IFLTV, Top Rank, MTK Global. How did this fight come about?
I don't know. I just said, like, listen, I didn't even listen. Well, Robbie's been calling me out for years, to be honest. Like, he's actually sound. I like the geezer, but like, even since the amateur days, I remember watching a boxing show, and I've come out of the venue, and someone's going, "Oh, Jordan Reynolds," and I was like, the first thing you do is you're polite. Do you know what I mean? I always think to myself, "Oh yeah, I might know him," like, but I can't remember. So I was like, "Oh, you're right, mate. How you going?" He's like, "Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, sound. Yeah, I want to fight you." I was like, "Oh, sound." I was like, well, listen, I'll meet you in the nationals, mate, if you're good enough or whatever. But we never come across each other. And then, yeah, there's a fair play to him, his game, and he says he wants to box everyone. So yeah, he's fucking. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll take it, mate. He's ranked up there. He's a good, he's tough, durable. I'd rather have someone like that who comes to fight than someone who's going to run around for 6 rounds like this in the corner and with their leg up and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, I've seen the videos that you posted on your social.
Mm.
He's posted on his social, obviously calling you out, a bit of banter leading into this
Yeah,
fight.
yeah.
It's all good. But obviously, have you watched some of these last two fights?
Yeah, like listen, people going, you're not like he's tough. Like I'm actually preparing for 6 hard rounds. That's do you know what I mean? I was trying like 6 really hard rounds, and I'll always prepare for that for every fight. But yeah, like he only gets stopped really when it's past 6, 7 rounds because he fatigues and gets caught with silly shots because he takes these fights on a week or 2 weeks notice. He's had a lot more time, you know, to get ready for this fight, and like he's probably learned from his last fights that he's got to stay in the gym, he's got to stay half fit. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't really say, "Oh, I've only had a week for this." It's like, you know, he's had a couple of weeks, and like he's a professional fighter at the end of the day, so he's going to be in the gym most days. So, and especially from the last fight, was it what's his name, Kevin Ojako?
Yeah, I think that was he fought recently after that, but last two fights a lot. The first one with them was against Charco, and obviously I think he got stopped around about 6 rounds.
Yeah, 6, 7 rounds. So it's just the late rounds when he's fatigued and he gets caught with silly shots. But he's in there, mate. He's in there. He'll let you know he's there for a few rounds. Do you know what I mean? But I just gotta keep class, keep my cool, and just box, mate. Do you know what I mean? And if the knockout's there, mate, I'll be jumping on it, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a great show. Obviously, you've got a few good fights on there. How excited are you to be obviously making your pro debut and obviously being on such a platform as MTK Global and live on TV?
Yeah, mate. Listen, this is the start now. This is the real start. Like of it's been a long awaited debut. I'll get this one out of the way, and it's all on my own terms. You know what I mean? Like this is where I can really start pushing forward and start, you know, climbing the rankings. Like I'm not deluded and saying, oh, I want to fight Canelo and whatnot. But like, you know I can definitely from the rankings, mate. There's a few lads in the top 10 I've beat two or three of them in the amateurs. So like, I know I'm up there, but obviously I can't rush. The pro game is different, but I want to progress on. Do you know what I mean? And with the likes of, you know, your Adam Harts and your Antos and your Leans and Stevie Collins and that, like they're advising me very well, and yeah, like, I've got to put my trust into them. But if I feel like I'm not ready for a fight, then I'll say, look, I'll be honest and say, look, it's a bit, you know, it's a bit deep, but we'll see what happens, mate. Like, I'm game as they come. Do you know what I mean? Boxing's a business at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So I've only got one shot at this, so I ain't fucking about.
That's brilliant. That's good to hear. Obviously, you mentioned some fighters in the top 10, some fights that we potentially could happen for you, providing you come through this fight. Obviously, you got lots of another Luton lad,
Linus,
Linus
yeah,
Udofia.
mate.
I look, we're probably good friends of Linus.
Yeah.
Would you ever welcome that fight in the future?
100%, mate. Like he'd be wanting to fight me as well because I beat him twice in the amateurs. So he's a nice kid. He's doing whatnot, but like it's my time now. Do you know what I mean? He's had his little hurrah. So I'll be coming and gunning them down. Do you know what I mean? I would like to get even a Southern Area title at the end of the year and then push on for English. But there's no point. It's hard for me to say whatnot because I haven't even made my debut yet. These lads have had 10, even though he's had about 10 or 15 fights with lads who have been journeymen and whatnot. It's like they can just say, look, how about these many fights? You've only had one. Do you know what I mean? But I would happily take that next week, mate, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's one fight at a time. I'm sure one day you both keep winning, your paths will all meet, and that fight will happen. Obviously, you have got some other good fighters in the middleweight division. Obviously, future could happen. Umar Sadiq, Willie Hutchison, Lennox Clark, Zach Shelley.
I think they would fight there, but they're a weight above.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, super middle. I think they're super middle, aren't they?
Middleweight. I think
Yeah.
Willie. Pardon me. Yeah, Willie's gone up to super middleweight recently, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think it was like heavy, and he went down to super. Also, yeah,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, like there's loads out there. Domestically, like it's popping. Like 9 times out of 10, lads walk around at 11, 12 stone, so it's a popular weight. So the fights are there, and it's gonna be fun. Do you know what I mean? Especially when people can come watch. Like I'm a big ticket seller. I was always selling 600-700 tickets as an amateur. So I know when the time comes as a pro, we'll be selling out these arenas and we'll be making like the hand days back and, you know, making big shows out of the fights, bringing it back. Do you know what I mean? Instead of, because at the end of the day, you want to be, listen, I'm a showman at the end of the day. I'm a fighter, but like, we want to be entertaining the fans because at the end of the day, they pay their hard-earned money to come watch us. So go have a bit of crack with it. Do you know what I mean? Go have a bit of fun with it all and then deliver with the fight.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that obviously there's going to be no fans on obviously when you fight this week. But how's it going to feel for you? Obviously, going in there and not having obviously you get big numbers in coming for your fights. How's it going to feel? And obviously not fighting with any
Yeah,
spectators.
listen, it might be a good thing because I'll be more. I don't know. Do you know what? I'm kind of used to it because when you go to these Russian countries and that, mate, there could be about 100 of them in the room, but there's no atmosphere there. It's just pure silence. Do you know what I mean? So it's just a fight. Do you know what I mean? It's the same old thing. Like, yeah, I'll be more switched on. I probably won't be. I won't act up for the crowd. Do you know what I mean? I'm there for a job and whatnot. But yeah, I guess like to be fair, mate, I'll get there. I'll be in the change room. I'll be shitting myself, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? I'll be like, because especially like when it's completely silent, it'll be like, oh, you can hear yourself think. You walk into the ring and you think to yourself, what am I doing? What am I doing? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You get some mad thoughts, but yeah, it's all part of it, mate.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Uh, so let's talk about it. I believe you're a West Ham fan, is right? Is that correct?
Yeah, West Ham, Luton Town, West Ham. No, I'm not really big into the football, but obviously I used to go as a kid. My mother and my dad would take me as a young boy. I was even doing the Luton scholarship for football and everything like that for Luton. But then West Ham was just where I had so much love, and I was at West Ham Plaster every day. You know, as a box, as boxing. That really set me off as a kid, man. Like, it really changed my changed my life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was proper fell in love down the East End Plaster. That's where it all took off for me. And I just thought, do you know what? I love the people down there. I love what it's all about. And I thought, yeah, mate, West Ham is where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an Arsenal fan. And I feel like West Ham are flying high this season. They're doing fantastic. Well, David
Mm.
Moyes and the team. So yeah, I mean, they're doing really
My
good this
dad, yeah, my dad normally tries to used to calm me down because he's a gooner as well. So,
year.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I want to ask you, obviously, how big will it be for you one day to maybe fight at the London Stadium for a
mate,
world title?
listen, mate, it'll be unbelievable. Like, listen, it's there to be done. Like Luton Town, they're even getting a new ground. Do you know what I mean? Like built, so it's kind of working. It's working out. It's all planned. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's all planned. And the time it's built, I'll be there and ready. Do you know what I mean? But I would love to fight at any arena in London, mate. We do numbers because I'm not just hitting. I'm hitting quite a lot of audiences, man. Like, and it'd just be great there. Do you know what? Just perform, fight, have a good fight, and then just celebrate with your own people. Do you know what I mean? And especially with the people who come out after. You think to yourself, that's the least you can do. So I'm really looking forward to them days. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Like, that's what we do it for. Do you know what I mean? It's a buzz, man.
And me, as obviously a boxing fan and someone who loves boxing so much as well, it's gonna be good to be back at venues and watching the fights live as well.
Yeah, but how's that been for you? I bet it's a bit like because
Yeah,
like
it's
one
been
thing.
hard.
Yeah, what I would say like one thing with the lockdown is like it's like at least the boxing's been on, so it's like it gives you something to look forward to. But like you said, you want to be there. You want to be there. You want to feel the atmosphere. You want to feel that little bit of crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do. I mean, even down to the small hall shows. I used to go to
Best,
a lot of small hall shows.
they're the best.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
atmosphere you can't beat it.
You're
So and
cool. Yeah, you're cool.
yeah,
Small also.
small shows
Yeah.
it's always amazing. So that's been hard. Not being able to go to fights, watching them on TV with no fans and no spectators there, hearing pretty much. But one good thing about it is you do hear the trainers in the background. You do hear the fighters talk to the trainers. You do hear the leather
Yeah.
next as well. So that's one good thing you do. You
Yeah,
do see.
you can see the impact. You go cool. Like you don't
Yeah.
want to get hit with that. Like whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can hear the speed of it. Phoom. But yeah, listen, it's just part of parcel, isn't it? It's yeah, listen, times. Listen, hopefully things will be back to normal by June. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. My colleague Nando from the Pound for Pound Boxing Show has put a question in there. He said, "What would your dream fight be?"
dream fight, dream fight. I don't know, like
Could be past or present fighters, if you
yeah,
could.
do you know what? Like, man, I'd love to fight one of the old school fighters. Like just to have a little feel of it. What it was like the Tony Zales or the Sugar Ray Robinsons or something like that. Just to have a little feel and like do. Like and actually do like an old school one with like the old gloves and 15 rounds and just to have a little feel with it. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking I'll probably get set about. Do you know what I mean? But like I would just like to be in that present thing. Fucking hell, you got them little gloves, 15 rounds. Yeah, man. That'd be my little dream. Do you know what I mean? But my dream fight would be literally a big arena, me headlining it and obviously selling out the arena and walking out with all your people there.
Yeah.
Can't be that.
One day, I'm sure.
Soon come. Has to.
I want to ask you another topic. We talked about gloves. We could talk about 30 South boxing. Talk about the gloves. You got sent a few persons on videos and pictures of you in the new Mexican range boxing gloves and some of the training gear. Let's talk a bit about 30 South. How comfortable, how good are they?
Yeah, mate. Listen, the club is naughty, mate. Mate, it's class. I ain't gonna lie. It's class. I was well chuffed. Like, I wanted to get it as well because I drove from Ireland. It was like 12 hours. I was like to my uncle, I said, I can't drive to South London, mate. I said, I'm wrecked here. So he went down, got on for me. Drove about an hour and a half. Got on for me. I was like, oh, mate, I was buzzing. So now listen, they'll soon probably take over the game business if I'm honest, mate, because they are real gloves, mate, and they're not like them little silly gloves where it's for a nice feel. Do you know what I mean? So and it's not cheap. It's not cheap clothing either. Sometimes you train in one bits of gear and you can't use it again. So yeah, it's all the gear's proper.
So what do you say to anyone who wants to maybe buy some 30 South boxing gloves or any fighting gear?
Yeah, go over, mate, and just key yourself out. Key yourself out. And listen, if they've got a code, use my code so I can get a bit of dough in my bank as well.
I'm sure they'll sort that out. I'm sure they'll sort that out. Brilliant. I want to ask you, obviously, before I let you go, a quick message for your fans and for your opponent, Robbie Champman, going into this fight.
Just literally, for Robbie Champman, listen, at the end of the day, it's nothing personal, just business. May the best man win. Do you know what I mean? Just bring his A game because I'm gonna come and take his head off. And yeah, to everyone who support me, just big love. And there's gonna be bigger things to come, and I hope I can deliver to you all and put a good on performance for you all as well.
Brilliant, Jordan. Absolute pleasure having you on, man, and taking the time to fight with us on the Pound for Pound Boxing Show. I wish you nothing but the best for the fight this week, and I'm sure we're going to speak soon.
Sound, mate. Take it easy, bro. We'll catch up soon, all right?
Take care. See you later, mate.
Bye.
Bye.